Good morning. This is the time and place for the Zoning Administrator's hearing for September 24, 2008. My name is Edith Fuentes, and I will be conducting the hearing as hearing officer. We have 3 cases today, and relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. Let me just quickly go through our hearing procedure. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a variance shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. 1, that the strict application of the ordinance would result in practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship inconsistent with the general purposes and intent of the ordinance. 2, that there are exceptional circumstances or conditions applicable to the property involved or to the intended use or development of the property that do not apply generally to other property in the same zone or neighborhood. 3, that the granting of the variance will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in such zone or neighborhood in which the property is located. And 4, that the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the objectives of the ordinance. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the criteria just described, then the zoning administrator can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the case in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the request will be denied. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The hearing will proceed as follows. I will read the description of the application or the request, and then read reports received from other city departments and other letters or communications from interested parties. The applicant will be asked to come forward, stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support of or in opposition to the application and any interested parties will be asked to come forward to speak. Again, clearly stating both name and address within a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments if desired, in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers within a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will be closed and the case taken under submission. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at this hearing or by submitting written responses and have provided their name and mailing address. I would like to emphasize that the date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from our Building and Safety Section, Permit Services Center, located on the same floor of this building. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of these speaker forms, which have been provided by the front door, and submit it to our assistant. I would like to also inform everyone that the official proceedings of the zoning administrator's hearing are recorded on tape as part of public record. Okay, just a quick announcement. If you are here for case number CUP 2008-021, the address is 811 East Colorado Street. This case has been withdrawn by the applicant. There were some errors in the application. and it will be resubmitted. So you can go home if you're here for that case. Okay, our next case is variance 2008020. Location is 2660 Montrose Avenue. Applicant is Edward Hagobian, and property owner is Joseph Gamgin. This is an application for a setback variance to construct an addition to an existing single-family residence and to allow the addition to be located within the minimum second residential floor street side and first and second residential floors interior setbacks located at 2660 Montrose Avenue in the R3050 moderate density residential zone, described as portion of Lot 15, tract number 7786. Let me just quickly go through some of the comments. From Fire Prevention Engineering, one of their concerns, the increased exposure to adjacent properties. And code requirements would be automatic fire sprinkler system and permit if the valuation of the addition or construction exceeds 50%. And their suggested condition is automatic fire sprinkler system and permit regardless of the valuation calculations. So I'm going to suggest you meet with them and discuss the comments. Neighborhood Services, they have no issues with the side setback variance request. However, they have concern regarding the interior setback, which would establish a right for this property in perpetuity. So they're just expressing their concern. From engineering section, the property owner shall provide an irrevocable offer to dedicate to the city for street use purposes a strip of land 10 feet wide along the entire frontage of the property on Raymond Avenue and a portion of the northerlymost portion of the property in order to locate the curb, this is the return for the curb, entirely within the public right-of-way. So this offer shall be recorded against the property and shall be binding upon owners, future owners, and so on. Applicants shall construct the curb and gutter, sidewalk and driveway apron along the entire frontage to city standards. Separate street improvement plans shall be prepared by a registered civil engineer. The new driveway apron, again, shall be constructed to city standards. Method of discharge of all on-site drainage shall be approved by the city engineer. Separate permits are required for all work within the right-of-way. Applicants shall comply with all NPDES requirements, and additional requirements may be required after the initial submittal of the final engineering plans for building plans check. I think those are all the concerns or communications we have. To present the case, Mr. Ed Hagobian.
Good morning, Ms. Fuentes.
Good morning.
I'm the architect and the designer and applicant for this variance. As you can see, starting from the site planning, the lot is a narrow, small triangle shape, and the house does not have any garage. So they have to park the cars in the street, and that has its own problems. The house is only 777 square foot, which is smaller than a small apartment building. So in order to solve this issue and upgrade the quality of life in this property, we decided to design and add a garage to this house. And then we found out that there is no space to design that garage unless if it encroaches into side setback either in the right side or on the left side. So we decided that we thought that if the setback is interior on the right side, it will have less. Yeah.
You want to come up here and just walk us through the site plan?
This is the lot, the triangle-shaped lot, and the existing house is here. And the garage that we want to construct is located here, and that is the setback that we are filing with the variance for. So either that garage, if that garage has to be, which it has to be 20 foot by 20 foot according to the zoning code, either that garage should be here or encroach into street side setback. We thought that encroaching into interior setback has less visual effect on this street, so that's why we have designed the garage here, and this portion are the stairs that goes to the upper level. And since the house is very small, the existing house, that we are proposing to have a bedroom, which we don't have it in this house.
On the second floor.
On the second floor. That's the general idea about the reason that we filed this variance.
Basically, the existing house is already within that 3 feet setback,
Yes.
and you're continuing the existing
the
building
same
line.
setback, yes. Now with this design, with this garage, they will have two-car garage to park. They don't have to park in the street, and they will have a bedroom to sleep.
Okay.
Now, speaking about these four findings, justify your variance request, the Glendale Municipal Code, Title 30, 16, Article 4. Please answer all of the followings. What are the practical difficulties? The practical difficulty is that the shape of the lot is very small, is under 3,500 square foot. Not only the size, but also the shape, which is a triangular shape, that we do not have any other choice to design a garage in this lot. That's the only choice is left for us. What is unique about the property involved? Before I go to the second item, I have to continue with the item number 1. The practical difficulty is we don't have parking, and either we have to park in the street that most often we run into vandalism, into accidents, into all kinds of problems. So it's better to have our own garage enclosed, which is safer and more practical. What is unique about the property involved? Simply the shape of the lot. If this was a rectangle, as you can see in the northwest side of it, we have an extra space there that if that space was a part of a rectangle shape, most probably we could design a garage with no setback variance issue at all. Why will granting of the variance not be detrimental to the public welfare? All I can think of that this setback will, if we think of blocking anybody's view, or it does not block anybody's view, because next door property it is two-story building, an apartment, multifamily building, and that is not going to create any hazardous situation for any detrimental situation for anybody. But if you think of, if you don't have this garage, that will be more detrimental to the public because they have to park in that side street or in the, they are in the corner, by the way, and parking in the Montrose Street is also a dangerous place to park. And if they park on the Raymond Street, then it's a very tight situation there. Why will granting of the variance be in keeping with the objectives of the applicable regulations? Applicable regulations is in favor of quality of life with a minimum amenities for a single-family residence. This house doesn't have it now. A minimum amenity is to have a garage, to have a bedroom, which this house doesn't have it. So the objectives of the applicable regulation is the quality of life by constructing this garage and the bedroom. This will be a house. Now it's, as I said, less than a small apartment building, apartment unit. Statement of additional facts related to the variance request. Responding to the fire department comment about the fire sprinklers, yes, we have to have fire sprinkler because we are adding more than 50% to this property. I know it's an expense for the owner, but it will make a safe house, and I guess the cost of the insurance also will be lower because of having that sprinkler, and this is something that we have to do it anyway. By the way, according to the zoning code, our garage is also a part of the square footage, because in 3050 zone, as far as I remember, I hope I'm not wrong, so by calculating the garage and addition of the room, we are adding more than 50% to the house. We have an issue with the engineering department comment about dedication of 10 feet on the Raymond Street, and hopefully before any decision letter is sent to us, we can talk to the engineering department, hoping that we can find a solution for that, because the lot is so small.
Yeah, with the 10 feet, there goes the lot.
Yeah.
The entire site is eaten up by the 10-foot dedication. But you're gonna have to discuss that with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Other than that, existing house will be upgraded in different manners, the stucco, the color, the windows, the sprinkler system, and it will be a safer building. It's a better addition to the city rather than the way this house is now. Having said that, I think I have no more comment, and if any questions, please.
I have a couple of... I'm not trying to redesign your project.
Yes.
I just wanted to find out if you did an alternative study, if the second floor is set back like 5 feet or 6 feet from this side, and then carried over to the other side. See what I mean?
We have to have stairs. If you look in the plans of the addition, we try to have, since those stairs...
I'll just tell you where I'm coming from. If you want to come up here.
Yes.
I'm looking at this existing next-door neighbor. It looks like they are at about 5 feet or, from this.
Yes.
And if you go with your second story at the 3 feet, you're really very close, And the reason for setback is for, separation, fire, and all that. I was just thinking if the second floor addition is moved back like 2 more feet, I know you're going to be a little bit tight here, but you have enough room over here too.
That-
And it's gonna be offset a little bit. But look into that, because I think for open space, separation, and fire issue, I would feel more comfortable having more setback where the bedroom is than, right at that area. But, I know. 2 feet, I think. Still can exactly.
You study that.
Yeah, look into
option,
that. It's just I'm just, like I said, suggesting, not requiring, but it's for their own safety. I would prefer that you're farther away from your neighbor than, especially the bedroom, than being that close to the property line. Let me see. So this is an existing single-family residence or dwelling in a multi-family zone.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons you're having a lot of this hardship. Okay. Do you know how long they have owned the property?
10 years.
10 years?
8 years. 8 years, sorry.
8. Let's say 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years.
And yeah, I like the approach that you use the Raymond side instead of Montrose, because Montrose Avenue is a lot busier than Raymond. So this is a safer in and out to the garage.
By the way, that stairs is on the Raymond side, but the roof is a shade roof which is lower than the bedroom's roof.
Yeah,
That complements the Raymond side.
I've seen it many times. I go to Holy Redeemer, so I drive by. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Hagopian?
That's all I can remember.
Yes, so let me know how it goes with
Yes.
engineering, because the dedication is going to kill the project, number one. And then let me know about the alternative study. Okay?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anybody else here who would like to speak in support or in opposition to this application? And just let the record reflect that the owners are here, I guess, in support of the application. Okay. Good. Any closing comments, Mr. Hagopian? Okay, good. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to go ahead, take this case under submission, and we'll let you know. Thank you very much for coming. Our last case is variance 2008-023. Location is 3662 Altura Avenue. Applicant is Mr. Edward Hagopian. Property owner is James Elliott. This is an application for standards and setback variances to construct an addition to an existing single-family residence that exceeds the allowable lot coverage and provides less than the required landscaping ratio, and to allow the addition to be located within the minimum interior setback located at 3662 Altura Avenue in the R1 low-density residential zone, described as Lot 48, tract number 13694. And going through the comments, from fire prevention, installation of fire sprinkler system if the valuation increase is greater than 50%. From engineering, method of discharge of all on-site drainage shall be approved by the city engineer. The new additional roof drainage shall not be allowed to drain onto the adjoining property, but shall be conveyed to the street within or from your own property. Separate permits are required for all work within the public right-of-way, and the applicant shall bear all fees in obtaining necessary permits and inspections. Applicant shall comply with all NPDES requirements, and additional requirements may be required after the initial submittal of the final engineering plans for building plans check. Those are all the comments we have, and brother, is there anything that I should be aware of or any major issues that came up? Okay, good. To present the case, Mr. Edward Hagobian. Oh, yeah.
Again, good morning, Ms. Fuentes. I'm the applicant architect of this application and the project. My name is Edward Hagobian, and my address is 220 South Kenwood Street, Suite 210, Glendale, 91205. This house is a very small house and congested, all the rooms together. And if originally this house was built two-story, we could have no problem with the lot coverage and the landscaping. But maybe if this was two-story, then it can create a view blocking problem for other neighbors in that neighborhood. And after talking to the owner and thinking about how to expand this house, one of the options was to go to the second level portion of it, which we have floor area ratio left there to expand the house to make it bigger, which in that case we could have much more than what we are adding with this application. But thinking that, again, a two-story, the second story will create a problem for the neighbors, blocking their view, we thought adding much less to the first floor will have the minimum effect on the neighborhood. It's in the backyard, it's not visible from the street. It's just only 6 foot 5 inches to living room and 6 foot 7 inches to the depth of the existing 2 bedrooms. That's all we want to add. Of course, we have some other interior remodelings which has nothing to do with this application. So that's why we have filed the variance for lot coverage and landscaping. Now, speaking about the findings, what are the practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship? The practical difficulty is that the house does not function. It's so congested, so small that, by the way, there is a split level elevation difference in the middle of the house, that the whole living space, kitchen, living room, family room, everything is in just one place in a small room. And as I said, in order to solve this issue, we could go to the second floor, but we are trying not to do that. What is unique about the property involved or the intended use of the development of the property? As I said, same thing again. The house does not function. And it's congested, it's small, and in order to have enough space for a small house, we need to expand this living room and 2 bedrooms in order to have enough sufficient space for these 3 rooms. Why will granting of the variance not be detrimental to the public welfare? Again, we thought adding a few feet on the back of this house will have the no or minimum effect on the neighbors, the neighborhood and neighbor. Is not visible from the street. Is not. It's just continuation of the same room we have on the living room side area, and the same is with the bedrooms. That's why we think that there will be no detrimental issue here. Or why will the granting of the variance be in keeping with the objectives of the applicable regulation? If the objectives of the applicable regulations are in favor of less choice of use of a small property, then granting of this variance will provide that services to the occupants and users of this property. Statement of additional facts related to the variance request. As I said, the other option of the second floor addition of more than 400 square foot could have provided landscaping and lot coverage to match the code, but create a massive structure on one side of the house. This is all I can think of about this application. If any questions?
What's the total square footage of the addition?
May I come close to?
Sure.
Way up there. $1,721 square feet.
The addition,
No, the addition is
300 something.
it's about 300 square feet, 300 something, which is located at here and here, which is the rear side of the house.
This is a one-story.
One story. By the way, the existing roof isn't in a bad shape, and there are some damages to the side of the house. All these things will be repaired, and the conditions will be upgraded in this house.
Any communication from your neighbors?
I checked
You-
with
you
the
may wanna-
city. We don't have no communication.
You can go back there.
We don't have any concern or any communication with any neighbor.
I know they were not notified. I just wanted to know if your adjacent neighbors
I'm
have
not-
expressed support, or
We've explained.
if you're gonna speak up, you're gonna have to come here and
Introduce yourself.
give me your name and address for the
My name is
record.
Jim Elliott, 3662 Altura. Yeah, we've explained it to our neighbors, and they're okay with it, and didn't express an opinion one way or the other.
But you're in good terms with your neighbors?
Very good terms with our neighbors, yeah.
Okay, how long have you owned the property?
9 years.
9 years. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hagobian, did you do any comparative analysis or neighborhood study as far as existing lot coverage or floor area ratio within the neighborhood?
I have done
I
it,
just
but
need to know if there are within the neighborhood existing similar condition as far as exceeding the floor area ratio.
I haven't
or lot
done it, but
coverage.
I will do it if
Yes.
necessary.
That will help me
Okay.
do a better analysis of the request.
Lot coverage or floor area ratio?
Yeah, whatever your, I think it's the maximum lot coverage, which is, so you may want to look at other existing.
Can we use the city's engineering maps for lot coverage? Because
can.
this is the only source that we have.
Yeah, you can do that. And then if you could also give me the adjacent two neighbors' existing setback.
Yes,
I'm just wondering if there are any other conditions.
I will.
Okay. And similar to the first case, you're basically just extending the same building line and
Same continuation.
setback,
Yes.
yeah, and they're all existing conditions. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here who would like to speak in support or in opposition? No? And let the record reflect that the owners are here in support of their application. Okay. And seeing nobody else, do you have any closing comments? Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead, take this case under submission. Thank you very much for coming, and close the public hearing at 10:20 in the morning. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.